of Economics, who is going to be your moderator for today's event. This webinar is using Zoom platform and being broadcasted live via YouTube Live. I guess we can only monitor the question via Zoom, but should you have questions for Allianz and our guest speaker, Pak Peter, please feel free to contact us through YouTube or directly via our website. This webinar presents the leaders in their particular industries, and we have here Pak Peter van Zyl, the CEO of Allianz Utama. Apa kabar, Pak Peter?
Apa kabar? Yeah, thank you, Alex, and really great to have me on the talk today, and it's really nice to be with all of you, and a warm welcome to all the people that have dialed in virtually, the new norm, and really nice to be with you today.
Great, Pak. Well, the honor is ours. And also we have, before we start our session, we also have here already Bapak Bram S. Putro, the CEO of Economics. He is with us here. Pak Bram is a friend of Pak Peter. Pak Bram mau nyapa Pak Peter dulu, Pak?
Ya.
Oke, Pak Bram. Well, Allianz Utama is one of the leading general insurance companies in Indonesia. And this webinar is being held every couple of weeks. So please, everybody, comment, like, and subscribe to Economics TV. To provide the background, we know that there are actually two major insurance categories. Yeah, we have life insurance, and also there is general insurance. Allianz Utama is a general insurance company, yeah, while Allianz Life is the life insurance. So I think it's better for me to make it clear here. So yeah, so those are different, and this one, Pak Peter is handling the general insurance. So yeah, Pak Peter, thank you again for joining us. We are honored to have you here to share your insight to inspire as a prominent business leader in Indonesia. Yeah. Are you working from the office or from home, Pak?
Yeah, I think Alex, today I'm working in the office, and you know, we alternate. As you mentioned, we have the life and health in Indonesia, and then the general insurance, and between me and the other president director of life. And we're very fortunate to be one of the few composite companies offering the whole suite of product in Indonesia. So we alternate coming into the office and working from home. It's the new norm, I would assume. Yeah. Yeah.
Both of the companies are in the same building, I presume.
Yes, we are in the same building. Myself and my colleague, we sit on the same floor, you know, and we have been following the standard protocol and with a conservative approach through the pandemic, and it all works. And so we're all together in the same building as what we reflect as one Allianz.
Nice. Well, sir, from your name alone, I guess you are from the Netherlands, aren't you?
Actually, no, I'm from my surname Van Zyl. I'm actually from South Africa. I was born in South Africa. My family and all my forefathers are from South Africa. So I'm a real, true South African.
Well, that's surprising. I should do a background checkup first before I discuss with you.
It's no problem.
Well, and how long have you been in Indonesia?
So I've been in Indonesia now 5.5 years and absolutely loving it. I think Indonesia as a whole, not just from the insurance perspective, but from the living perspective, is an exciting country. It's a country full of challenges, full of opportunities. And myself and my family have been here, as I said, for 5 years. Before I moved to Indonesia, I was in Singapore for almost 11 years. And prior to that in Turkey for almost 6 years. So, you know, I've been in the insurance business now for, on the life and health and in general insurance for just over 30 years.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
And since you have been in Singapore for 10 years, then you must be pretty familiar with Southeast Asia and also its culture then.
Yeah, I think that's the exciting part about Asia. When I was in Singapore, I looked after Asia Pacific which allowed us the unique opportunity to travel to many countries, to understand different cultures, and to work with different cultures. And moving to Indonesia, fortunately, that experience allowed me to not just bring business practices to Indonesia, but to really fully understand Indonesia and apply and localize those business practices to the Indonesia insurance market and to those that work in the insurance market. And as you know, insurance literacy is really important, I think, for the whole insurance market and financial literacy. So I think one of my really big interests and strength is to understand the local market and then bring these business practices and principles to the market and adjust it to the local market. And there's no doubt that Indonesia is an exciting market with many, many opportunities.
Yeah, we need more players educating the market and also in promoting the process of insurance. Yeah, because I think Indonesia is among the lowest insurance penetration market in the world. Yeah, so the opportunity is still here.
Yeah,
by
absolutely.
The way, do you speak Indonesian, Pak Peter? Ibu nggak apa-apa ya, ini kita conduct the seminar in English.
Yeah, I think okay. I'm learning to speak Indonesia. However, I think all my business dealings are in English, and I really still need to perfect. Although there's a lot of Indonesia words that are exactly same as Afrikaans, which is my home language, and I'm busy learning Indonesian. Yeah. But better to do this in English until I'm ready.
I guess Pak Bram will be more than happy to help you, Pak.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, we can start our discussion.
Sure.
Pak Peter, we believe that the general insurance situation goes along with the economic condition, with I think minus 2 or 3% economic growth, minus 2 or 3% up year to date. Well, what has happened to the general insurance industry in Indonesia?
Well, Alex, I think that yes, you're correct. The market has shrunk slightly year to date. However, I think that the pandemic has had an effect on insurance and the economy as a whole, which is very understandable. But I think what we really need to understand is what opportunities does the pandemic or the slowdown in the economy present. And there are many opportunities that we can take either from the pandemic or the slowdown in the economy. And we need to react very quickly. And I think the pandemic has taught us this. And, irrespective of the industry being down and the economy being down, the opportunities are there. And they certainly are there to be taken by the whole of the insurance industry. And really, what do I mean by this? If I look at work from home, that is now the norm. And what does the work from home teach us? For us at Allianz Utama, it's allowed us and taught us many good things. One is to be quick to the customer demands. And secondly is to innovate on our products via the digital channels. Now, I think, as you know, worldwide, if you're a company with purpose and you're a company of purpose going digital, you're going to be able to reach the customers, not just in the dense areas or major cities. It's the far-reaching customers that have now access to either the knowledge of insurance or financial betterment for themselves, and they can realize that insurance can also be for them. So the opportunities are huge. If I really take a look at during the pandemic, we had a very large portion of our staff working from home, and it was not normal for everybody. And it was, everybody feared this, in particular that your service levels are maintained and as an insurance company, and both from the life and the general side, that we still maintain and deliver on our promise. I'm really proud of Allianz as a one Allianz, both from the life and health and on the P&C side, that our service levels actually increased and did not drop, with all our staff, majority of our staff working from home. It also allowed us to take the time to communicate more effectively that we never did to the extent of the pandemic. I mean, look at today. Today we are talking virtual. We're not meeting face to face. We're reaching a far wider audience, and we can still see each other. The benefits of this is more people can become more inclusive, can understand more, can ask questions readily, and the opportunities are really far exceeding the pandemic in our perspective. It works via virtual too. So that really means how will the future look? And I think all insurance companies and the financial market need to react quickly. We need to listen to our customers, and this gives us a perfect time to listen to our customers. We can now further analyze, find out what the buying behavior is of our customers, what is the product that they require, is it by geographical area or not? And I think the pandemic allows us to do this. And it also then says, how do we further educate the market? And I mean, during the pandemic with Utama, we came out with our digital training, and even with our first notice of loss on claims. And this really blends to the feel of ease of doing business, clearly articulated products that the customer can understand easily, and differentiating products that the customers now have access to what they need. And I think it's really encouraging. So I do believe, although there is a slowdown in the first 3 quarters of the year, I'm very optimistic that the whole industry is resilient, and we will bounce back. And I do believe that innovation is taking place, not just with Allianz Utama, but the industry, and exciting times ahead.
Yeah, you said that the opportunities far exceeding the shortcomings. That is interesting. Well, do people or companies tend to buy more or less insurance in this pandemic time?
I think, Alex,
I understand that the Indonesian internet penetration is quite significant these days here in Indonesia, but we think that it still takes time for people at the village, especially, to purchase insurance products, especially at economy downturn.
Well, I think that your question was, should people or do people buy insurance products more or less? It's not about us as the insurance product to determine if people buy the products and is it an affordable product. It's more about the actual condition of the customer. And yes, no doubt the customers will be more prudent to see what products they can purchase against their affordability and their need.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. And, you know, one thing that we are from a One Allianz, we're ready to service those customers in what they need. And, you know, we will and are cognizant to cater for those particular customers. However, I think we still need to innovate and innovate via digital channels. And if we don't do that with differentiating products, you know, it is a portion of what we need to do to the larger community. I mean, once we digitalize, and I'm sure, Alex, you'll agree, we know the volume of people that have mobile phones in the whole of Indonesia. It is a large amount, and these people interact via the mobile phone. So we need to ensure that we innovate our products and services digitally. And I think that will stand in those differentiating products, the traditional commercial business will always be there through the traditional channels, either that being the broker or the agent or bank assurance, because that's a large portion of our income generation. So the digital innovation is really, really critical and gives huge opportunities.
Yes, it will be very interesting to learn further about your digital innovation, Pak. What have been changed to adapt to the pandemic situation in terms of product itself, pricing, sales and service strategy, probably?
Yeah.
What has been changed?
So I think let me articulate what our vision is. We really aspire to be the digital insurer in Indonesia. And in order to do that, what has changed? I think that we obviously during the pandemic had looked at our products in detail and to simplify our products that is clearly understood in layman's terms to the larger community is really important. And I think if you can provide the products and service, if I may use the word instant, meaning now, I want an instant quotation, I want your instant knowledge, I want the instant terms and condition, I want an instant notification of my policy, I want to notify my claim instantly. And I think if you can come through the whole idea of mindset change to be instant, that's definitely going to stand those insurance companies and Utama in good stead. We also need to understand that insurance generically have been covering a broad range of a particular product. Let me give you an example. Motor insurance is one of the two biggest lines in the P&C market, yeah. General insurance, motor and property. However, if you just want to insure your tires, why not? Okay, and if these product innovations need to take place. Another example is traditionally, if you want to do home insurance, right? And your traditional product would that you cover everything in your home. But however, if I'm the customer and just want to insure my TV, why not? So I think the innovation or digital, this creates the opportunity moving forward. And I think this would be beneficial for the financial inclusion and insurance education. And it can be more far-reaching than just the big cities, as I mentioned before. So that's where we look at the opportunities. We will still maintain and are very optimistic about our traditional channels. And I don't want to miscommunicate that. Our brokers, our agents, our bank assurance channels are very important.
Sure.
And those channels can also interact with us digitally. So huge opportunities, I think, Alex.
Yeah, I guess still more than 90%, we are still relying on the conventional channel for sure, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it
how
is...
How about abroad? How about in other countries, in more developed countries? The contribution of innovative channel, how far have they gone that way?
I think every country is different, I think, Alex, and it looks at what products are mandatory and what are not mandatory products. That will be determine the sales. In many countries, motor is mandatory. In Indonesia, it's not. So it all depends on the product. And, again, it's very difficult to compare Indonesia because we are unique in our own way to, a country like Singapore, for argument's sake. It is a completely different product offering. The circumstances are different. And, from an insular perspective, that's where, again, and I keep on saying it, the larger population of Indonesia, we need to cater for that. And I mean, we have a very succinct, vision, and that is to ensure more people in Indonesia. And we will maintain that journey. And we can't just insure more people just by osmosis and it happens. We need to get fit and ready digitally with innovative products. And we need to listen to the customer. We need more touch point with the customer. We need to really understand what the needs are, and we need to service that. And I think every company will go that way or should go that way.
Yeah, to a certain extent, the pandemic is a blessing in disguise, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Well, up till today, what is your sales target achievement? Well, we know that our friends in the life insurance companies are doing pretty well.
Yeah.
It seems like most of them can reach up to 70 or 80% of their previous target market sales target, and also it has been mentioned that their premium collection is still the same at the same level, and interestingly, the number of claims has been reduced, because probably people are afraid to go to hospital because they don't want to be they didn't want to get contacted by corona probably. What about general insurance?
I think about general insurance, Utama, if we look at where we are in terms of percentage, we are really on par of our prior year. And we are still optimistic with that. And we still maintain the growth. And I think everybody needs to do that, right? And I mean, if you do that, you can still remain relevant in the market. I think we will, and every company will see a slight downturn to their actual plan, never mind over prior year. And I think we are maintaining our prior year, which is very encouraging for us. And we're very pleased with that. And, we maintain our contribution towards the market. And we will maintain to be relevant to the market. And, that is really critical for us, and obviously to deliver on our promise to our customers. As you mentioned, the whole market has seen a decline. And you need to set small milestones, and we meet those milestones, and we're pretty happy with them. And we believe that we will make the relevant adjustments to service the greater population. I mean, that is what we're doing in a nutshell, right?
Speaking about adjusting our product and services and our go-to-market strategy to address broader population, like what you have just said, have you changed your target market? Have you make some adjustment in terms of your target market, you and other general insurance players?
So I think it's Brett. No, our business model has not changed. Our target market has also not changed. What we've really done is enhanced. In addition to that, our generic business model, our generic target market, however, it's how the market interacts with us. And that digital aspect is really critical. And so it is how we can get closer to our customer, and more importantly, get closer also to our intermediated, our distribution channels. How can it be more quick and instant? So the service levels can go up with efficiency. So it's not about changing the target market. Our business model remains the same. It's just that we are now further innovating, and there's no doubt about the purchasing power via digital tools is already in Indonesia. So we need to cater for that.
Yeah. Well, Indonesia is just starting to embrace digital lifestyle, and our company still has plenty to learn from our friends from abroad. I wonder if, in terms of digital strategy, has it been halfly prepared by your headquarters?
We get global. We have also a global strategy. There's no doubt, and then from Singapore we have a strategy too. However, I think Allianz Utama have been getting fit and ready for the last 3 years, not just because the pandemic has hit, right? And the pandemic is with us today. We associate ourselves with some large platform players here, some really large airlines, some big travel agents, which has been obviously impacted by the pandemic, and some ride-hailing platforms that we have here. So, and we've been modifying and innovating even for the last 3 years. So, and we will maintain that. And I think that reaches the broader community, that allows us to insure more people in Indonesia. It goes about the whole aspect of being inclusive. And I think we will carry on still targeting the larger platforms that we can associate and collaborate with. That's reaching more people in Indonesia and in those outlying areas that were not reached before.
Pak, going forward, what is your prediction of the whole situation, of the economic situation in the next semester, and then the insurance industry, or more specifically the general insurance industry? What are your predictions?
Well, you know,
are we
again,
getting better?
You know, we're optimistic. You know, I strongly believe that the market is resilient and will remain resilient and agile. And you know, as the pandemic might impact each and every one of us, I do believe that the whole industry as a whole will remain resilient. So I'm optimistic that you know, we can weather the storm this year and hopefully position ourselves in 2021 in a new environment where you know, we all need to acclimatize to the pandemic, the economical situation. But I'm optimistic, I must be honest. I think the opportunities are big, and we'll remain steadfast in you know, developing, and I'm sure the industry too, and hopefully the economy will also do that, which I strongly believe that everybody's looking forward to 2021, right? And and I think that's also a mindset of many people. And if we pull that mindset through collectively, and everybody thinking in that way, it can get better, and it will get better.
Well, insurance depends very much on the on our traditional channel, our agents here, especially. What have you done to motivate the agents? Because it has been very difficult for them to meet people these days.
Yeah. And
how do you motivate them?
Yeah, this is an area for us, Alex, that has really been pretty exciting. You know, during the time of, you know, traditional face-to-face, right? We always meet each other. We always have, you know, quarterly meetings together, or we do training together, or we have some events together. I mean, that came to a halt. However, it allowed us, to be honest with you, interact with them more. It allowed us to get onto virtual team meetings or Zoom calls, to update them on the developments during the pandemic, to really also update them on our service levels with the agents, that you know, we were definitely open for business. Our claims are on track. Our service levels were actually increased. And this all gave, I think, our agent channel that much more confidence. And over and above that, we developed during the pandemic a training modules that's all done digitally, where they could still keep up to date on, you know, where we are as a company, on our products, could carry on doing their own education online. This allowed them to monitor and for us to also monitor and track their progress, and then to sort of push more products to them. We also then increased the services of our claims, where you can have your first notice of loss. You could take photos of the claim. It can be you know, submitted digitally. So we really took heart and cared about our distribution channels, and we constantly allowed communication. And I'll give you some examples. We had people, or heads of my departments, doing WhatsApp videos to the agents, informing them on the turnaround times, the claim statistics, what needs to be done. So that constant reminder of Allianz are here to serve. We're open. We deliver on our promise. I'm sure and hope that based on, I think being now again loyalty leaders in the market have allowed, it to come through on we care, and I think we will always care. But so I think that communication was really good for us.
That is very great, Pak Peter. One more question from me, Pak Peter.
Yes, sir.
Well, as an insurance practitioner, what is your suggestion to the public and corporations at this time?
I mean, I think, we all need to the greater public, and the awareness isn't there. I'd like to say that you can protect your assets and the services that you do have, and that is what we, as a service provider, an insurance company, offer to the greater market. I mean, you need to, as your own individual, determine what is important and affordable to you today during the pandemic. But rest assured, we have the products and services that will care and take care of your needs, and we really strive to deliver on our promise. And please note to the greater public, you can contact, you can speak to us. We will give you our best advice always, but we're there to serve the greater community. And we strongly believe that our products and services will protect each and every individual that works with us, that takes insurance with us, and those in future that will take products in the future. We will secure your future.
Okay. Pak Peter, we are at the end of our discussion. Do you have any suggestion and other remarks for your friends here in this Zoom meeting? I see there are a lot of participants from other insurance companies.
Yeah, I think, for me, it's all about relationships, right? And it's all about communicating, and it's all about supporting and strengthening the insurance industry. So, for all of those insurance companies and financial institutions that are on the call, maintain the collaboration, constantly communicate, stand unified as a really industry that's integral to the greater part of the economy, and really take care of all the people as much as we possibly can with the products and services. And I think those communication, like you are doing today with economics, you're spreading the thoughts and the thinking of people to the greater population, and give the reassurance that we still have products and services that can cover people's needs, and stick together as a community and as an insurance and financial community. And I'm sure that we'll all innovate and develop products and services that will provide peace of mind to many, many more customers that will enter into our market. And good luck.
Thank you very much, Pak Peter. Nanti kapan-kapan kita ngobrol lagi, Pak Peter ya.
Thank you.
Well, okay, Bapak Ibu, that was our discussion with Pak Peter van Zyl, the CEO of Allianz Utama, one of the leading general insurance companies in Indonesia. Once again, thank you very much, Pak Peter, for sharing your invaluable experience with us. It has been a very insightful discussion, and we at Economics do expect that we can provide a new perspective and build optimism every day. Mungkin saya coba, I try to summarize a little bit in Indonesia ya, dalam bahasa Indonesia. Itu luar biasanya insurance company ini kan termasuk industri yang performanya masih lumayan bagus ya di saat pandemi ya. Kalau life insurance itu masih sekitar 80% dari sales mereka masih bisa tercapai gitu. Dan general insurance juga tadi kan Pak Peter bilang sales levelnya masih bisa dia maintain sama seperti tahun lalu gitu ya, dan dia selalu optimis. Itu ada dua hal sih yang saya lihat foreign companies itu bagus banget ya, yang mungkin Indonesian companies bisa belajar. Yang pertama tadi communication ya. Dengan gimana caranya kita bisa tetap memotivasi staff kita, terutama orang-orang yang bekerja di lapangan ya, yang di sales, di mana mereka tentu susah banget ketemu dengan customer-nya gitu. Ya kuncinya adalah komunikasi ya, selalu memberikan feedback, selalu bisa kasih tahu bahwa ternyata performance kita oke, ternyata di tempat-tempat lain pun penjualan juga masih bisa bertahan dan lain sebagainya gitu. Jadi communication dan encouragement itu yang mungkin kita bisa belajar dari antara lain foreign companies. Mereka sangat bagus sekali. Yang kedua adalah penggunaan sistem ya. Ini juga ya beda ya. Kalau kita kan developing countries, kita not too much thinking about system not yet gitu ya. Tapi mereka yang ada di negara lain gitu, mereka memang udah mungkin 1 atau 2 langkah lebih di depan dalam hal sistem informasi dan juga sistem dalam bekerja gitu. Di sini dibuktikan bahwa yang berhubungan juga dengan komunikasi tadi ya, sistem itu sangat membantu. Sistem itu membuat kita tuh lebih punya arahan apa yang harus kita lakukan gitu. Nah sekarang Indonesia kan udah bisa dibilang negara yang sudah sangat berkembang dan sebentar lagi mungkin akan menjadi negara maju. Nah Indonesian companies juga harus start developing proper system gitu. Jika kedatangan foreign companies ke kita tuh membuat kita lebih cepat bisa belajar juga ya. Nah makanya diskusi-diskusi seperti ini kan tujuannya juga supaya kita bisa lihat apa yang terjadi di industri lain atau di company-company lain gitu. So, well, this webinar is being held a couple of weeks ya, Pak Peter ya. So we try to hold it every 2 or 3 weeks. And to our audience yang dari insurance industries, also from other industries, please stay tuned with us for other seminars ya. And for Economic TV, please comment, like, and subscribe. The channel is Economics TV. Kita juga punya Instagram channel and also website tentu saja ya. So farewell, Pak Peter dan kawan-kawan.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Alex. Thank you, Bram, and to everybody that tuned in. Please stay safe and stay healthy. Take good care, and nice to see you again. Bye-bye.
Stay healthy, stay healthy. See you again in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Saya kembalikan kepada panitia.
Economics, media riset bisnis dan ekonomi Indonesia. Setelah berkarya selama lebih dari 2 tahun dalam bidang riset, bisnis, dan korporasi, Economics kini telah resmi menapakkan kakinya dalam bidang pemberitaan bisnis secara online. Ditunjang jaringan riset di lebih dari 14 kota di Indonesia, kami menjadi salah satu media dengan kapabilitas terdepan di industrinya. Landscape New Normal telah mendorong para pelaku bisnis untuk melakukan inovasi, baik dengan memperbaiki kinerja maupun memanfaatkan tantangan ini untuk meningkatkan market share dan hard share. Sebagai media bisnis online, Landscape yang menuntut kita untuk bergerak secara contactless, cepat, dan efisien ini justru merupakan peluang bagi Economics untuk semakin dekat dengan audiens dan semakin relevan dengan kebutuhan korporasi. Economics Research yang berbasiskan online dan offline kini menjadi salah satu pilar utama grup kami. Melalui berbagai studi, antara lain brand reputation, customer satisfaction, dan business strategy, Economic Research menggariskan diferensiasi kami sebagai media pemberitaan yang bukan hanya up-to-date, tetapi juga ditunjang kajian yang presisi dan lebih mendalam. Kekuatan kami dalam riset online telah memungkinkan kami untuk tetap memenuhi kebutuhan klien korporasi dalam masa new normal ini. Kebutuhan akan human resources development pada sektor korporasi dan pemerintahan di Indonesia mendorong Economics untuk mengembangkan sayap bisnis ke dalam bidang pelatihan leadership, management, dan business skill. Economics Training, salah satu unit usaha kami, mendesain kerjasama dengan berbagai sekolah bisnis ternama di dunia untuk memberikan executive education program paling mutakhir di tanah air. Keterbatasan pelatihan dalam masa new normal telah mendorong Economics untuk menjalankan puluhan webinar dan training online yang inovatif. Adalah visi dan komitmen kami untuk membawa Economics menjadi salah satu perusahaan anak bangsa yang berkibar di mancanegara. New normal telah mendorong proliferasi gaya hidup dan bisnis digital, di mana kebutuhan akan media online telah meningkat secara pesat. Tahun 2020 akan menjadi milestone kedua dalam perjalanan Economics. Melalui jejaring yang luas, Economics akan melakukan ekspansi di beberapa negara Asia, antara lain Malaysia dan Singapura, China dan Vietnam, serta Taiwan, Jepang, Thailand, dan India. Kerja keras dan idealisme disertai dukungan yang luar biasa dari partner dan klien telah memberikan kepercayaan diri yang tinggi dalam mengejar cita-cita kami menjadi salah satu media dan institusi riset ternama di Indonesia. Economics, Leading Disruption Economy.